Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pacific Pokemon Podcast, where we talk about Pokemon with a focus on VGC. I am Lindsay,
And I'm Bambi.
and today we are here to discuss a few things. We got a big trailer from the DLC Part 2. Not a whole lot of new information per se, and a lot of things that we could probably have inferred and assumed, but either way, it's a pretty awesome trailer, and there's some fun stuff there. They have a bunch of codes with that as well. So we're gonna go over those in a bit. But then Stuttgart in Germany, if I remember right, um, happened this past weekend and just finished a few hours ago, this morning. Uh, and so we're gonna be going over Stuttgart Regionals. And guess what? Spoiler alert: Hisuian Arcanine does it again, guys.
Like we said last week, it just has answers to everything.
It's a little different this time, and I look forward to covering that, but we'll get there a little bit later. What are your thoughts on the trailer off the top of your head?
My thoughts on the trailer is that I really wish they had narrated it. I thought it was um kind of boring to like if I'm being honest. Um just like I feel like this was like too much showing off of the gameplay that we already don't like in a way.
Or just too much
Um
of what we already have, I
yeah.
guess.
Too much of what we already have, and what we already have isn't stuff that we all exactly like appreciate the same. Um, I thought it was really interesting how Kieran this entire time just had a purple underlayer to his hair, and now that he puts it up, it's all purple.
Right?
And I'm also wondering when he joined the basketball team because that jersey is kind of wild looking with the hoodie.
Kieran,
And
man,
what's up with like him having like one shoulder off, like on the design too? Like
I'm
this
right
is
there
a
with
this
you.
this is like a 10-year-old boy.
This kid went off the deep end, and I'm really excited to see like what happens here, but he definitely went and had some kind of Pokesports called it a glow up.
I
They
would
said
not
Kieran
call
got a
it a glow
glow
up.
up, and I'm over here like I feel like Kieran just went down the bad boy
Yeah,
train
Karen.
for a while. He got salty that you got Ogerpon from him, and he got
Yeah,
angry and wants to beat you so that he can take Ogerpon back. And that's what I get of the whole story.
he looks like he's been spending his time collecting sneakers.
And yet somehow becoming the best double battler in Blueberry Academy, I think.
Yeah, somehow.
I think he's supposedly like number one now or something like that there.
I don't know. That those are things that they could have put in the trailer that they didn't.
Yeah. That was kind of rumored after even just Kitakami came out, but there was very little to go off of other than just like, oh yeah, Kieran comes back in DLC 2, and guess what? He's actually good.
I'm really interested to see what Carmen's up to. I think that she's probably chilled out a little bit, and all of her picking on her little brother is now kind of like coming to fruition.
Yeah, I feel like, if you remember, there was a short like freeze frame with the teacher and Carmine and like Terapagos or whatever,
Mhm.
and Carmine's just like looking up, like holding her hands together, and I'm like, wow, this is a flip. Now Kieran's the really strong trainer, basically bullying her, and she's just like, Kieran, why, Kieran, please, or something. Too funny. I'm very curious to see what the actual story is on that, though, instead of just
Yeah,
my probably BS speculations.
I'm curious if we'd be able to use the little Terrapagos.
I have to assume the answer is going to be yes to some extent. Um,
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like its like base form, and then like when it gets all the type signs on its back, that's when it's like its terrestrialized form, much like Ogerpon with its masks.
mhm. It's definitely rumored to be something along that line for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
Obviously, we still don't have any confirmation. If I remember right, the paste bin leak that may or may not be true supposedly said there was 3 different versions of Terapagos, so we'll see how that pans out, whether that's
Maybe it's just three
accurate.
Terra, like just three of them in general.
There was like baby form, full form, and then a Terrid version of the full form
Well, I
kind of
mean,
thing. But the Terrid version
maybe that's
might
like
be an
Heath's journal.
encounter.
Like there's Heath's journal form. There's like the one that we've been seeing on like the art for the Indigo
Hmm.
Disk this whole time, and then there's the baby form. So maybe I could see that. Like,
Yeah,
actually, that would be really cool to see like the big giant dome belly, like or like Earth belly or whatever. If it's like actually like
yeah.
that big or something like that, or like if like I've always been like a fan of the idea that Paldea is actually like on the back of Terrapagos.
That would be wild. I don't know how they'd be linking. Well, actually, they did show the tree. There's
Hmm.
another tree that Pokemon is, I guess, like worshipping or whatever. They have a theme with trees, definitely. Gen 6, it was
Hmm.
Xerneas. Gen 7, there was the battle tree, and then, like, the totems are all tree
Wood.
like in some manner.
Hmm.
uh, and then Gen 8, I forget what it was. The Dynamax tree. That's right. Or the
Yeah.
Gigantamax tree. Huzzah.
Also, I think another one of the trees, from what I can remember, is in Sutopolis City too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's
That's
that
the
tree
one
in
where eternal form, um, what's it called? It's not Flabebe, is it?
Floette, the middle
Floette, yeah,
evolution.
Eternal
Yeah,
Floette.
that's it.
Eternal Floette who went in and had its like resting place there or whatever, because you can go there in Oraz and see the eternal flower growing right there at the base of the tree.
That's right. I totally forgot that they actually closed that storyline
So it seems like
there.
ever since Gen 6, they've always had like a kinship with trees outside of just like Celebi.
Yeah, definitely. At least in the
Speaking of like,
DLCs.
what's Celebi up to?
I don't
We're
know.
a tiny, wimey, spacey, wacy meteor like hole in the middle of the Paldea region, and there's no Celebi to be found with any of these Paradox Pokemon, so I'm still not sold that this is time travel.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be showing up in DLC 2 and we just aren't informed about it.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
It would be very shocking to find that Celebi makes a return. Um,
Yeah, especially considering that they're bringing back Darkrai first up
yeah,
right now in events.
yeah. I'm actually really. By the way, code is New Moon something. What was that? What was the last
New
word?
Moon is coming. So it's 4
New
words.
Moon is
New
coming
Moon is
with
coming.
one for the I's and zero for the O's.
Yep. Which thankfully the Switch doesn't let you click I or
Anything
O
else?
or I think Z for the number 2.
No.
And so it makes it very easy. So yeah, grab your Darkrai's. That is up for 2 weeks. So up
Yep.
until December 21st, a few days before Christmas.
And don't forget to put a wide lens on it because it got nerfed.
If you're using it for Dark Void, that is. Mine's going to be sitting in the box for a while, but
If you're using Darkrai, you should be using it for Dark Void.
exactly. Yeah. They're also doing a shiny Lucario giveaway code.
I know that. That
Shiny
one's,
Buddy
yep, shiny buddy.
with once again the one is or the I is a 1. That code is going on for another 2 weeks longer. So through January 3rd of next year. So a little bit after New Year's, you can get your shiny buddy Lucario. And then there's also a Master Ball giveaway that is not yet available, but will be available on the 14th, the same day that the DLC opens, and will go all the way through to January 3rd.
Hmm.
Huzzah! Events!
We actually get cool Pokemon right now.
Right? Shiny Lucario is pretty okay. It's a great shiny. Not an amazing competitive Pokemon, but Whimsicott's coming back, so there's a side meta for justified Lucario with Tailwind beat up, even though Cobalion does the same thing but better, and Terrakion also does the same thing but better.
Better. In fact, Terrakion does the same thing but better in doubles
Hmm.
because it gets that rock slide.
Was a lot better in Sword and Shield, but I think that was heavily influenced by Dynamax
Oh,
because it had
absolutely,
much better
100%.
defenses than
Oh,
Terrakion.
there weren't spread damage moves when you were
Yeah.
Dynamax. So I think that's going to be definitely a big hit to Cobalion, even though it has a superior typing. I think that this Terrakion is going to be the one.
Yeah. Terrakion strats are definitely coming back.
One thing I'm really upset about, we didn't see the new Entei or the new Terrakion.
Right. I
That was
completely agree.
really, really disgruntling. I was really hoping to see like Triceratops, Entei, and we didn't get it.
I really thought they were going to reveal at least the sprite. Come on, guys. You already gave us the first pair of them.
Yeah.
You released the first sprite how many months ago?
Where is it?
6?
What is it? What did you do to it? Where is it hiding?
Actually,
Why
it was
not?
only 4 months ago.
Why
But
not
anyway,
hype us up with it?
yeah, seriously.
Um, and I don't know if this is like the only trailer they're doing, but like I don't think they're gonna release another trailer until maybe like the release of the DLC day.
Yeah. Yeah, this
And
is
by that
supposed
point,
to be
we'll
the
already
last.
know.
This is supposed to be the last pre-release trailer officially.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's really disappointing if you ask me, because I just really wanted everybody wanted to see what those guys were gonna look like. Come on, Pokemon
Yeah.
Company, you knew that. Don't tell me you didn't know that.
One thing I'm really excited for is like I think it would be really cool to go look for Ho-Oh
Yeah,
and like actually be able to go like journey across Paldea to go find it. Like I think that that would be cool.
what I'm really looking forward to with all of that is, I mean, first off, let me just throw out there, the guy who helps you get legendaries in Paldea is named Mr. Snacksworth, which I
Yep.
just think is fantastic. It's just beautiful. Snacksworth. But I'm so excited for the potential to shiny hunt a lot of these Pokemon. Some of them were not available in the Dynamax adventures, and more importantly than anything else, Cubfu is on that list.
Speaking of Kung Fu, guess who's still behind a paywall?
Yeah, but guess who's now shiny huntable as well? At
It's
least
true.
for the first time ever.
I was wondering how they were gonna do it. It makes a lot of sense that this is how they're going about doing that.
I'm so excited.
I'm really upset because like I'm pretty sure Gigantamax Urshifu had like special shiny coloring
I think so.
and we never got to see it. So I'm wondering if I'm pretty sure that it should actually we might be able to see what it's like
Maybe.
by Pokemon homing back these new Cubfoos into Galar.
That's a possibility. That would be really cool too. I'm definitely gonna have to test that out now when I get my shiny. Because you know I'm
Hmm.
gonna be hunting at least two. A water and
Yep.
a dark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get that orange snout.
Gonna be beautiful. Yeah. Shiny pseudo mythicals, like, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
please. Don't
Speaking
mind
of
if I do.
so we got a bit of a theory with shiny hunting. We thought it would be really cool if potentially with the new synchro, like syncing,
Yes.
um,
Actually,
um,
will you
being able to run
explain
around as a
synchro?
Pokemon,
Yeah.
being able to use like the Let's Go like battle feature, and being able to battle wild Pokemon as your Pokemon. And imagine being able to go shiny hunt, being able to go like run around like as the Pokemon you're gonna be like trying to shiny hunt for too. So you could actually like see differences or like see even different sizes. Like you could run around as a one size Pokemon and go stand next
That's
to
so
other
smart.
sizes and like and see like finally be able to get that jumbo shiny or that mini shiny.
That's so smart. I didn't even consider the size thing too, but that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for those who didn't watch the trailer, synchro is basically like you uh, in your mind and then you're running around as your Pokemon.
Yep.
Is basically what it is.
Mind transfer jutsu.
Yes, and it looks really fun. I'm really excited, and I really hope they give it some level of internal value in terms of getting items that you can't easily get, or like being able to see shinies or hunt shinies like that, and something like that, so that it's more than just a fun mini game.
Yep.
And as long as they give any value to it, I feel like people are going to play that all the time. It's like people
No,
are
I
still
think
ogre ousting like crazy.
I I still only ogre ousted the one time.
Reset mochis, man. Reset mochis are great. There's a shiny
I literally
Munchlax.
have I got maxed out berries before the DLCs started dropping out.
There. The only reason
So
I
it's like,
didn't is because I used a bunch of them constantly.
yeah,
But I still have
and
hundreds.
like when it comes to um the way I go about going and like using Pokemon, I try and get a new Pokemon for each team. I don't really like overlapping or like anything like that.
Yeah.
So like I'll try and get or trade like multiple like shinies or things like that for my teams because I always try to run all shinies if I can.
If possible, I get that for sure. Speaking of shinies, I got two more shiny Fluttermanes yesterday. I finally went around and uh did some hunting, and I got a zero attack IV shiny Flutter. I'm
That's
so
awesome.
pleased.
Dirty Jenner.
So happy though. I caught two in one outbreak, and the second one had a zero attack. And I was, yes, my
That's
real
awesome.
competitive Flutter is
Well,
here.
that's how I felt when I got my Dusclops because my Dusclops is
Yeah,
no good. Is like it's not 0 and 0 for speed and attack,
but it's
but
one and
it's
one.
at level 50 they round down to 0. So I was super happy about that. So getting wild caught with the right IVs, whew, it's
Yeah,
just so good.
it's such an amazing feeling when that actually happens. I love it for sure.
But it's a feeling I wish I didn't have to have because I wish they had just implemented like the rusty bottle cap that we've been all been begging for.
Maybe DLC
Something
2.
to lower IVs. Huh?
Maybe DLC 2.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
You don't?
No, I think the reason why they wouldn't do it is because it kind of goes against the philosophy of Pokemon.
How so?
It makes the Pokemon weaker, and it's all about growing stronger together.
I mean, true.
Right?
The
It's like it weakens them. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. I think they might only on the concept of, because it's very clear the Pokemon company does not like
I get
Jenning.
that. It would literally shoot
So
Jennings right there, and
hopefully
nobody
that's
would do it.
enough reason by itself. On the subject of other events though, because there's so much that they revealed with this trailer. So like there's the synchro, did you notice the Ditto Cube?
The Ditto Cube.
Yeah, there was one point where they zoomed in on the um terrarium, and the little like cubes that make up the wall that you can like run around on and stuff like that, that
Mhm.
make the barriers and the entrance and stuff. Well, there was a cube just sitting on top of the regular wall that was shaped the same with Ditto's eyes and mouth
So
on
are
it.
we getting into Ditto form, or is this just an Easter egg?
This is, I think, some kind of internal game, kind of like the Alola and Diglets that we had to go find,
Oh,
uh, or
yeah, that makes a lot of
that kind
sense.
of thing. And so it's
It is
apparently
a
there's a
scavenger hunt
bunch,
game.
yeah, apparently there's a bunch of Dittos hiding along the walls and stuff of the terrarium that are going to be masquerading through there, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Hopefully we can catch them too, and it would be even cooler if we could get a shiny one out of it.
Yep.
Blue Ditto. Yay. Let's do it. But yeah, that's
The
a silly
Tesseract
thing.
Ditto.
Yes, right. That would be amazing. Yes. omni blue, like all shades of blue just merging, constantly changing. That would be so sick.
Mhm. That would be too cool for Ditto.
It would be. It flat out would be. Especially considering it would change as soon as it enters a battle.
Yep,
Which,
yep,
speaking of shiny odds, mass outbreaks being one of those. And guess what? They're doing another mass outbreak event. Woo!
yep.
This one features a bunch of fairy types, mostly. Flabebe in Paldea, in all of its flowery forms. So this is definitely the easiest way if you are somebody hunting a shiny living dex or whatnot. This is 100% the
Now
easiest
that we
way
got
to get
Darkrai,
all
are
of
they
those.
gonna finally give us Eternal Flower Floette?
No,
Hmm.
no, it's asking way too much. That would be amazing, I think, honestly. Like, I would love to see Eternal Flower Floette. And
I think it would be I think it would be better than amazing. I think that that would be a
yeah,
huge payoff. I mean, like, I know Gen 6
oh,
was like 10 years ago now or something like that.
I think so.
Um,
But back to events and whatnot. We got a little sidetracked there.
yeah, we
These
did.
the
It's
mass
a,
outbreak events are going on until December 21st. So if you are one of them shiny hunters looking to complete a shiny living dex of Flabebe and all of its evolutions, um, now's your best chance to hunt them. Get that done now.
yep,
Flabebe in Paldea, Litwick in Kitakami, and if you already have the DLC and or have it by the time it drops, for the first week of DLC, you will also have access to the Milcery raid or outbreaks in the terrarium in DLC 2.
I really wish Milcery was good.
Yeah, Alchemy. It
Yeah,
was good
I
with
wish.
Dynamax because it had a Gmax that wasn't bad.
Yeah, it had the Mega Evolution thingy, but
That's all it had going for it. Oh well.
yeah, and the only Pokemon that gets anything cool nowadays when it terrestrializes is Ogerpon.
For now. Hopefully Terrapagos as well. We expect that.
I still don't think it's enough. I don't know why, but like, it's more sidetracked. I just thought that like more Pokemon would be able to would be able to wear like the masks of Ogerpon or
Fair.
something like that. Be able to have like a special form out
Or
of it,
unique Terras for more than just Ogerpon.
or like double typing, like certain dual typing Terras or something
That
like
would be
that.
incredible, but also absurdly complicated. Jeez.
It
That'd be
would
so.
maybe that's why they didn't do it, because it was just too much to chew and balance.
I think so, honestly. Like, I think honestly, it is just too much to code, not enough time to make it
Yeah,
work well.
Mega Evolution in a nutshell.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Distributed randomly to fan favorites, and then, oh no, what is balance?
Balance is for geeks who care about numbers.
Balance is for
What
League of
matters is
Legends,
that my
right?
Pokemon is cooler than yours, and it wins because of that.
Exactly. Balance is for League of Legends, right? That's the kind of game that needs competitive balance, not
You know what game needs
Pokemon.
competitive balance? Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. That's the episode title: Competitive Rock, Paper, Scissors.
That would make no sense.
But it is
I'm
VGC.
not even talking about 222.
I mean, VGC in a nutshell is a little bit of that, but
I guess so. I don't have
Dialga
this.
and Palkia Terra Raid events are happening same time as the mass outbreaks. 5-star Dragon Terras. Fluttermane works really well against both. They're both fully special attackers, so Flutter's
One thing I was
absurdly
going to
high
ask
special
is,
defense is
do you
great.
catch multiples in raids, or do you only get one?
You can only catch one of these, but you can beat them as many times as you want.
Don't like that. I want to be able to have a good way to get resets on a zero speed Palkia.
Well, I think they're bringing it in. I'm not certain if they're bringing Palkia or Dialga in the DLC Part 2 with Snacksworth, but they
Yeah,
might.
we're
So
they might. I really hope they wouldn't just leave Dialga Palkia out of that.
they did leave some out. The Cocos, or the Tapus, I mean, are not coming back. At
But they're
least off
just
of
not
the.
programmed into the game.
Yeah, true. They're just not going to be there in general. That's fair.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tapus are a no go. We got no Feeny display, no Lele display, nothing.
I think a lot of people are really upset there's no Penny.
At least we get budget Feeny with Primarina coming back. Budget-ish Feeny. It doesn't do Misty Terrain, but it does the same
That's the only
typing
thing
and
people
same
want Penny
bulk.
for is for the Misty Terrain.
I know, right? Counter the Amoonguss in an instant.
Yep.
But alas, if we had Feeny, it would also work really well against both the Dialga and Palkia raids, too. But we don't
Yeah,
have Feeny.
nope, we don't get Penny.
Oh. But Fluttermane and Azumarill will do the jobs pretty well for you there. Azumarill's a little bit iffy in the Dialga raid. It just doesn't have the special defense to survive the Steel Beam.
Hmm.
Dialga's Steel Beam hurts a lot.
AV.
Yeah, but then you can't run Belly Drum. And Azumarill doesn't have good self-recovery for Terra raids, you know? So, like, AV just doesn't really work on Azumarill in the Terra raid.
If anything.
But Fluttermane's Draining Kiss actually works really well for that because you do get 75% HP recovery from Draining Kiss, which is really nice. So
That's good.
yeah. Um, good as gold. That's good as gold, is what that is.
Yeah, the actual episode title.
What? Because Goldengo is everywhere in
Yep.
Stuttgart. Stuttgart. It's popping up in all of the main teams. 3 of the top 4 teams all featuring Goldengo. Which was really impressive. I'm really surprised how far this thing like fell off in previous regulations.
Yeah, one thing I want to like preface this with is that like what's really going on and what we're gonna be seeing is a lot of the same
Yeah.
and more offensive variants than before.
Yeah. The meta is definitely going a little bit more into that hyper offense of just
Which
show up on the field, kill it dead.
I think the reason for that phenomena is because we just eventually in a rule set get to a point where like we know what's basically out there for tools to use. Like things have been pretty much explored and what's viable and what's not viable has been decided. And there's not really a lot of room for innovation, so people just look to get better by making harder reads and bigger
Yeah.
payouts.
Yeah, honestly, I agree there completely. It
Because you
definitely
can't
feels like
really, unless you're like Paul Chua or Ray Rizzo, you're not exactly like out there making hard reads 100% of the time, like regardless of where you're at in your meta.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean even them, the top players of every caliber still struggle frequently when it comes to making those reads. Because when you're reading somebody who you've never played against, or when you're reading somebody who you've played 50 times, you know, it's completely different. And
Yep.
both of those environment or the competitive environment facilitates both of those a lot. So you get a lot of all of the above.
Yeah.
Uh, Teams right now are very just old, but also new. Regulation E is basically just old at this point. It has very much set down to a hard, like, settled, this is the 6, guys. Bring these 6 and you're gonna do well.
Yeah, technically we started this in the summer.
Mm-hmm. As soon as Worlds finished. In
Yep.
August, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, 4 months of Regulation E, and in 4 months, we've determined that surprise, surprise, Urshifu is amazing. Rillaboom does really well. Goldengo and Fluttermane are
I
actually like equal with each other, which is really surprising me now, thank God.
and Hisuian Arcanine is coming for a world championship.
Seriously. This
I
doggo,
expect to get that distribution this next August. For
Hisuian
real.
Arcanine is legit the the Pokemon of Regulation E. If you're
It is
choosing
the
any
poster
one
child.
Pokemon, it's
Michael
Hisuian
Jordan
Arcanine.
is the way.
It won again. Hisuian Arcanine has won 7 of 8 Regulation E events, and there is one left next weekend.
And it will probably win that.
More than likely, considering that it's in San Antonio. And the North American meta has pretty consistently settled into a lot of this 6.
Yep, pretty much exactly this 6.
Seriously, like the Flutter, Goldengo, Hisuian Arcanine, Tornadus, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Rillaboom. 4.
Yep,
It's just good. It's
yeah.
just really good.
You got your fire, water, grass. You got coverage into the fantasy trios of typing like dragon, fairy, uh, and steel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And if you
you got
Terra the Goldengo, you have all 3. You've got Dragon Dango, Steel
yeah,
Dango, and Fairy Flutter.
yep, exactly. Which is one of the things I really like about terrestrialization is that it allows you to fill gaps in for whatever team you have going on. So it
Yeah.
really rewards people who have a lot of options considered in their team prep,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
which
looking
is
at this
really
team.
like 80% of the game is your team.
Mm-hmm. At least. Well, actually,
Mhm.
no, I'd say maybe a little bit less, because a lot of your play handles into that too. But if your team's bad, you can't play a bad team, no matter how good of a player you are.
It's true. If you're trying to e-speed a ghost type, you're bad.
Yeah. Or if you try to Tornadus taunt Grimmsnarl,
Yeah.
you're bad.
Oh no!
I
You
still won the match.
forgot.
I still won the match in the end, so I mean I wasn't mad at myself. I did it that turn 1 kind of thing, of where you click it and then you're like,
Shame. For shame.
duh. And you look at your opponent and you just look down and you're like, that happened. I did that thing that everybody makes fun of doing.
Yeah.
Prankster taunting a dark type. But yeah, this and it the other thing, like this Tornadus here running the Steel Terra now. We're no longer seeing Ghost Terra. We're just seeing the return to protect on Tornadus to avoid the fake outs and
Yep.
damage and then a defensive Terra.
And not caring about opposing taunts.
Yep. Which
Running
I'm
more
also pretty
damage.
sure this Tornadus was actually slower and bulkier as
Yep.
well. So
Slow,
just playing
bulky,
around the
probably
taunts.
some special attack investment for reliable bleak wins, if that's
Mm-hmm.
even a thing.
Yeah. I mean, he is running Rain Dance, so after
Okay.
enough turns, I guess he gets the reliable bleak wins, or can just click the fun button and hope for a win and a speed drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, big congratulations, big shout out to Lorenzo Silvestrini, who won the entirety of the event. Congratulations to you, my man. I think he was Italian. I think something like that.
Yeah, another Italian player.
Second place at Stuttgart went to Nils Dunlop, a
Nils is a good player.
long-standing player from uh, England. But Nils brought the Reggie Drago.
Yep. With that earth power for being able to hit those steel types.
Yep. But otherwise, a lot of it's the same. Tornadus, Goldengo, Rillaboom, and Urshifu.
Thank goodness Corviknight's not in the meta.
I mean, Corviknight exists, it's just not seeing use, thank goodness. I agree.
I don't think I've seen Corviknight since Regulation C.
Yeah, neither have I. I was actually going to say the same. I haven't seen it since Rec C. But it's a decent iron defense body press user. We're just
Hmm.
trending so heavily away from stall metas right now and
Yep.
slow metas that there's not a lot of benefit to running a Corviknight nowadays, I feel like. So.
We're also straying away from. I'm wondering if maybe there's like a world where it like thrives off of Incineroar, but
It's possible. Incineroar is
Waveless.
good at slowing games, but I get you for sure. Because
Oh
it also
yeah.
has
Oh
Mirror
man,
Armor.
I completely forgot about how much longer Incineroar games take. Oh, rounds are gonna last forever this next year. Oh my gosh! Doesn't matter if Wu Qian is being used by Moxie boosted anymore.
Incinemungus, everybody, here we go. Be ready for the game
Incinemoongus.
to slow down when your opponent wants it to. And then pick right
Yep.
back up with, the Whimsicott or Tornadus in the back and the Urshifu as well. So,
Yeah.
it's going to be something along that line where I'm really curious to see what the meta decides is actually going to be the strongest in Regulation F.
I think people are gonna crack the code on Incineroar, and I think Palafin might have a plan with that.
I'm not going to disagree there, honestly. I think it would have a solid
It wants to swap.
position
It
to
has
counter that. Yeah.
priority.
Good
Instant
priority, too.
Instant doesn't usually burn things.
Not usually. It can with oh, what's that move? Burning Jealousy. It
Hmm.
can do it really well with that, but that requires a setup Pokemon. And so usually something like a Swords Dance King Gambit or whatever at that point. So that's definitely
Hmm.
different than what Palafin generally builds. So it
Yeah.
might. But yeah, otherwise, Nils was running the Ogerpon Hearthflame for his fire type instead of the Hisuian Arcanine. But that's about the only major difference there. Running the Drago instead of the Fluttermane and the Ogerpon instead of the Arcanine.
Yep.
And he's running Rock Terra on Rillaboom. Yes, you heard me right. Rock Terra. Probably to resist, I guess, fire and flying moves. Because that's the
Yeah.
only thing I can think of.
Just leaves you so open to everything else.
Right? Leaves you very open to ground moves, etc. But generally, Fire Terra is what people were running otherwise. So.
You can get burned that way too,
Mm-hmm.
which is another huge drawback.
Yeah. So, an interesting decision there for sure. It doesn't seem like it necessarily paid out drastically for him. I did not see him terrastalize the Rillaboom in any of his matches. Most often I saw him terrastalizing the Goldengo for
Yeah.
Terra Steel, Make It Rains.
Hmm.
Or the Ogerpon, obviously, for good reason. Moving along to third and fourth place teams. When I was checking last, we did not know yet for sure who was ranked third versus fourth. We just knew top 4 versus top 2.
Hmm.
So one of these people is third place, the other is fourth place. Congratulations to both. Alessio Yuri Boschetto and Sergio Ramirez in third and fourth, with a lot of similar-ish teams as well.
Hmm.
What I
Yeah,
like, though,
it's almost like cookie cutter.
yeah, it really has. It really is. Like, we're down to that point in Regulation E now, and
Everybody's got their own gingerbread man, but it's always a different little punch.
yep, most teams are running, Intimidate and fake out, and then speed control plus damage.
Yeah.
Basically, just across the board.
That's the
Uh,
winning formula. Honestly, all you really need for hyper offense. That's how it's been for generations. It's just that these are the Pokemon we have that can do it right now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's see. Alessio's team, Alessio Yuri Boschetto. He did bring a bit of an interesting team though, with classic Landorus Therian, you know. Iron Hands, though. I think the only Iron Hands in top 4. Goldengo, Amoonguss showing up here, and then the Poison Terra, Roaring Moon.
One of the things about the Iron Hands though is I think the biggest reason why it struggled and didn't do any better is just because the next 3 teams were Golden Go teams. And
True.
Iron Hands like does nothing to Goldengo right now.
At all.
Even if you tried to like Terrafire Fire Punch, it's not gonna be enough. And it can just Terra Dragon like always or oh gosh,
That's
I
actually so
really
true.
I really need to use Goldango before it's gone.
I don't know if it's going anywhere, honestly. I think Goldengo is going to stick around in the meta, even in Regulation F. I think it will still be one of the steel types. That's a really good
Mm,
steel special attacker, and that doesn't really have a better Pokemon, right?
mm,
Plus, Aegislash, who's probably the most well-known steel special attacker otherwise in VGC,
mm.
has no spread moves. So,
Gotcha.
I don't know if Golden Go is gonna go. He's gonna maybe disappear a little bit, you know, because something better in terms of counters will take a little bit more priority or whatnot for a little while. But
Hmm.
we'll kind of just have to see how it goes. I think you got time, is what I'm saying. You can use the Golden Boy whenever you wanna. On to Sergio's team, the last of the top 4. Sergio brought Chien-Pao Dragonite, so like I guess it's nice to see that still in the top of the meta, holding its own.
I think it always will be.
Honestly, yeah, I can't argue that.
Um, it it's hard to answer e-speed when you don't have a better e-speed user, and it's it's just priority wars. And
Yeah,
priority wars are stale, but they work.
Priority Wars may be an old concept, but they're an old concept that still exists. There is
Hmm.
a reason for that.
It's reliable.
It does a thing really well.
Things with under like 550 like stats don't survive.
Yeah, things with too low of a defense or HP in general just can't survive. I guarantee you, if Fluttermane's, you know, a Fairy Terra, it's not taking that E-speed.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
now that Champion has Lash Out, it has options if you even tried to save your ghosts.
yep. Yeah. But otherwise, he's just running the Ogerpon, the Urshifu Rapid Strike, and Fluttermane Rillaboom. So, very common concept regardless as well. Kind of that same execution, just without the steel type, and running the Chien-Pao instead. And then Dragonite being the dragon type there.
Hmm.
But that's going to be about it for Regulation E. And we've got one more event coming up next weekend, San Antonio in Regulation E. And then we're finally moving in to Reg F.
I am so excited for Reg F. Give me Metagross already.
I'm just. I'm excited for so many things. Togekiss, Metagross, Whimsicott, Incineroar,
And if it's
Terrakion,
true,
Cobalion.
Pursuit. I will be using Pursuit if it's back. I will make a video on how to be toxic with Pursuit.
How to be
Glamora
toxic
will
with
be on the
Pursuit.
team.
Here we go.
Glamora, Tyranitar, let's go.
Jeez. Yep.
AV Glamora next to Iron Ball, Tyranitar
Gosh.
with safety goggles, Cresselia,
Leave.
and and or no, better yet, safety goggles Hatterene.
Oh no, no, you don't need safety goggles on Hat because you've got Magic Bounce.
But it still takes chip damage.
True. Yeah. Oh yeah, from T-Tar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. That makes sense.
Hisuian Arcanine. This will be the triple rock team. Instead of Matrix Ice, it'll be Dwayne Rocks.
Dwayne rocks. Beautiful.
I don't know. I just have a I just have a thing for making three of the same typing on being like or being like half your team be the same type. I just have a thing for doing that in my team building on accident sometimes, and I realize, oh my god, what have I done here?
It's a core kind of thing, you know? And it gets more common when you do stuff like Sandstorm and Psychic
Mm.
Terrain, Grassy Terrain. You know, you get Ogerpon and Rillaboom on the same team a lot.
Yep.
You'll get Indeedee Armarouge, Indeedee Armarouge and Hatterene, Indeedee Hatterene and Cresselia. You know,
Hmm. Yep.
that level of consistency definitely exists. All right, but I think that's going to be about it from us this week. Did you have anything else you wanted to go over?
I think if anything, I just want to say congratulations to Hisuian Arcanine this next weekend already.
Ah,
Um,
calling it now. Hisuian Arcanine's going to win
Calling
again.
it now,
All
Hisuian
right.
Arcanine will win San Antonio. I genuinely don't believe we have the right tools to be able to answer Hisuian Arcanine right now.
Garchomp?
No.
I know, that's kind of the point. Like, it's one of the best ground type attackers in the entire format. And that's about the only thing that we kind of have, even in the slightest.
Into a Pokemon that probably utilizes Terra Fairy better than any other Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. That does outspeed, but also, you know, Terra Fairy. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And Intimidate.
Yep. Oh, Clodsire.
Clodsire is a sleeper pick that we still haven't seen pulled off properly yet.
We've seen it once. One time. Which was cool.
Yeah. I think that one time is like wasn't enough for people to actually explore it,
Oh,
but I still
definitely
think
not.
it's a super underrated Pokemon. I think that there's a team for it 100%. I think that there's a place for it on every Trick Room team that wants Yon.
Fair, yeah. Any Trick Room team that's not running an Amoonguss, basically, would love to have that there.
Yeah, like if Gastrodon's water typing is too much for you and you need something different, I think Clodsire is the way. So who knows? Maybe we could see Clodsire in Worlds.
Ooh, maybe I'll just turn the Clodsire in on a Psy-Spam team.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Psy-Spam Yon Clod. Let's go.
Go with
Time to cook.
Kara Dark, block those be immune to psychic, block those prankster taunts.
I'll just oh well, immune to psychic is actually really good, so there. I was gonna say
Mhm.
I'll just use psychic terrain to block the taunts. I'm not worried about taunt. But yeah, psychic attacks is a good thing to avoid for sure on Clodsire.
That's fair. Hey,
But yeah,
sometimes you don't always want to have to lead in DD.
exactly. You know, on that subject, I think I've now decided kind of on what team I'm gonna use to play through the Key to Com or the DLC Part 2 in the Terrarium and all of
The
the
Indigo.
battles at the Indigo Disk. Thank you. I'm gonna use the Clodsire and Didi Hatterene team with Torkoal.
Nice. That sounds like a good idea. I
And
gotta figure
then
out what I
yeah,
gotta do with Darkrai.
yeah. But I think it's all double battles, if I remember right. So
Is it all double battles?
it's competitive.
This is hype.
That's why I'm so excited. Indigo Disk is 100% competitive. You have to have beaten DLC 1 and the entirety of the original story to even get access, which is the same as they did with Sword and Shield.
Hmm.
But like they said that all of the main story battles are double battles, all of that. So like this is legit.
This is gonna be really good. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I might actually get around to making that video in January with me going through and beating every single NPC finally. Because I still haven't touched any NPC that didn't directly relate to me getting an amulet coin.
Fair. A lot of NPC battles still in the overworld. Geez,
I haven't done any of them.
no kidding. That's a lot of them.
You don't need to.
I know. I enjoyed them, so I did quite a few of them.
You want to queue us out?
I don't know. Kind of want to keep talking. I'm just
Hmm.
kidding. But I do, but also don't. You know, it is what it is. We're done recording. All right. Well, I think that is going to be about it from us for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in and checking us out. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. The links or the buttons are down over there. Check out the Discord and the link down there in the description. Yeah. Leave us a
Yeah.
comment. Let us know what team you're going to be running for the Indigo Disk DLC Part 2. Let us know if you're going to be running, you know, like full-on just VGC competitive mons, or if you want to build something unique for it and do something wild and fun. Kind of like I'm planning to do with that Clodsire. I like that idea a lot.
Clodsire is going to go hard.
We're going to VGC a Clodsire team, basically, and then bring it to the Indigo Disk.
Throw Ogerpon in there just to rub it in Kieran's face.
Oh, absolutely. Ogerpon has to be there. Ooh,
Yep.
maybe we'll do a rock Ogerpon in Trick Room.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
There we go. There we go. That's some
Just
good
follow me.
ideas.
Just to follow me so that way Mungus doesn't ruin your day.
Exactly. Perfect. Well, that's going to be it then. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we will catch you guys in the Indigo Disk.
Bye.